Good afternoon. My name's Ed Black. I am Director of Innovation and Product at Barclays Payment Solutions. Absolutely delighted to be introducing Crowdz today, so much so, as you can see, I've got the T-shirt. Starting to worry I'm going a little bit native, maybe. So we've been working with the Crowdz team for several months now, and we're incredibly impressed by their knowledge and expertise in the market that they're operating in. The B2B supply chain market is completely untapped, and I think it's completely ripe for innovation and disruption, which is why we're so excited about this opportunity. I think by bringing together what we've got, which is scale, distribution, and a very large book of SMEs and corporates, and putting that together with the Crowdz capabilities and some of the innovation that they're working on, we've got a really powerful commercial opportunity in front of us. In my line of work, basically, we're trying to help companies sell stuff and trying to help companies buy stuff. And that's exactly what the Crowdz technology does. So without further ado to him or about it, let me introduce Payson Johnson from Crowdz.
100 years ago, my family imported product in and out of China, as you can see from this actual photograph. It was a highly manual process with a ton of paperwork. Today, China, the manufacturing capital of the world, has embarked on a $1 trillion project called One Belt, One Road. This ambitious program is recreating the ancient silk trade routes to move even more product throughout Asia into all of Europe across 77 different countries. However, there's a glaring omission with China's program. The paperwork is still very manual, and my family from 100 years ago would still recognize it. Let me make this a little bit more concrete. Take the chair that most of you are sitting in. This chair was purchased by the Barclays purchasing department for about 238 pounds, list price, of course. Now, look at the chair for a minute. It's made of plastics. Do you realize it rocks forward? Try rocking it for a second. Okay, so it rocks forward, right? Now, let me tell you a little bit about this chair. This chair was bought from a reseller named Aram. That reseller got it from a Swiss designer who manufactured it in Germany. But the plastics for this chair came from mainland China, and the raw materials from throughout Asia. This sounds like a rather complicated process, and it is. In fact, 300 documents across 20 companies were needed to make this very chair you're sitting in today. With Crowdz, we digitize and accelerate the process for making this chair and millions of other products. We also allow sellers to get better working capital by selling back and financing their invoices. Think of this cash as a lubricant for the Silk Road. The product catalog and the paperwork is now digital. The paperwork can move across along with the invoice across the blockchain, and the invoice can be put up for auction where banks and hedge funds can bid for a market rate. Bottom line, SMEs, small, medium enterprises, flourish while global trade across the Silk Road thrives. Let me walk you through a demo. If I was from the Barclays purchasing department, I could start searching for this gray office chair. I could narrow it down to different resellers, setting different parameters, and eventually find this chair that you're sitting on from the reseller, Aram. Now, Aram the seller can actually send the invoice through the system, goes across the blockchain, and as you can see, 90 days they receive payment. But basically now they could put it up for auction, and different banks can bid so you can get a fair price. In this case, Sumitomo Bank wins and transfers the money over to Aram. Now, Aram can now manage their supply chains and their cash without mountains of paperwork. We also worked with Google X to develop a smart score to look at credit risk from every buyer and seller. So how do we make money on this? We make money in 3 ways. Number 1, we make money from the product selling on the marketplace. Number 2, we make money for the invoice and the finance fee when it's auctioned off. And number 3, we make money from data analytics, selling it to insurance companies, businesses, and governments. We've got traction, 1.5 million products on our beta. We've launched a POC with South Korea's POSCO. We've signed 2 POCs with big industrial players in China. And what we've done in Asia, we're now bringing to Europe in partnership with Barclays. We're focused on the furniture industry, which is actually the bulkiest item on the Silk Road. My team understands supply chains. Several and I, my CTO, built out Cisco's e-commerce system that allowed Cisco to digitize from raw materials up into final distribution to customers. We understand how commerce works. We're addressing the legacy problems on the Silk Road today. However, our vision doesn't stop there. Just like the internet became the backbone for e-commerce, Crowdz will become the backbone for all global commerce. We look forward to partnering with you on this $9 trillion opportunity.